What you're about to hear is something of value, and I would encourage you to also press the subscribe button and notification bell. And that way, of any and all new content uploaded on this channel, you'll be the first to be notified of it. And by the way, it's free. It doesn't cost you a thing. So please go ahead and press the subscribe button, and let's get into the program.
Believe it or not, he didn't put me on scholarship because I was so poor. Again.
Who was the head coach at that time?
Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson?
The Jimmy Johnson was the head coach.
That coach,
and we judge people by their character, not by the color of their skin. Yes. And we live by that. I don't dislike you until you give me a reason to dislike you. You have to have a plan. A bad plan is better than no plan. And one of the amazing things about signing with the Dallas Cowboys, I signed 2 1-year contracts. I had my lawyer look at it. Old James Clark looked at it for me. And my first year contract was $30,000.
Now, we've got folks that's going to be around America here that's going to hear this. You know, you've got kids that feel that there is no hope, who comes from, poverty.
Don't let that stop you.
Come on, tell America.
Don't let that stop you.
Camera and let people know what the requirements are. Look dead at that camera and tell them what they need to do. Hi, I'm Robert Wilkins, aka Basketball Tall. Welcome to my channel. I'm glad that you're here with me today because I'm here with someone that you need to hear from. It's just that exciting to know what you're about to know. His name is Allen Benson. He lives and resides in the state of Oklahoma in the beautiful city here of Ardmore. So, with nothing more to say, let me get into it with Mr. Benson. Welcome.
Yes, sir.
Welcome to my channel.
Thank you. Great to be here.
Thank you. I just want everyone to know that I've been knowing you for quite some time now.
Yes, sir.
We started out, playing basketball, just pick up games.
Yeah.
And plus, we've done some USA track and field together.
Yes, sir.
And, I coached, the high jump, long jump, and triple jump for 12 years. And, you've been with the organization now for
about 21 years, 22 years.
Still doing it to this day.
Yes, sir. Talking
about an impact in the community and what you've had on our youth of today.
Yes, sir.
We were talking just briefly, and you said some fascinating things. And, and I feel that it's just as important that America knows this. Right. Because we have so many people in our time that have no idea what it takes. They have no idea, the commitment that one may have to achieve something in life. Let me tell you a little bit about Mr. Benson, Allen Benson. He graduated from Ardmore High School in 1977. And of course, he also attended Northeastern A&M College in Miami, Oklahoma.
Miami, Oklahoma. Yes, sir.
And you played football there.
Yes, sir, I did.
Now, were you on scholarship?
I was not.
Why not?
Because I was so poor. My family was so poor that I qualified for every grant, financial aid, work study under the sun.
Really?
And it's really not something to brag about, but that's the way we were. Not by choice, but I had a dream. I wanted to go to school. Going to school or not going to school was never an option. I have 7 brothers and sisters. Everybody had an opportunity to go to school, go to college. Out of the 8 of us, we have probably 14 different degrees.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
14 out of 8.
Out of 8.
So we're talking about some have multiple degrees.
Yes. Most of my sisters have three of my 4 sisters have masters. One has her lawyer. She's a lawyer. So I have my BS. One of my brothers has his BS and a master's. So some of us kind of doubled up, and the 2 that did not get degrees were 2 of my brothers. But my youngest brother, Thomas, he's a retired NFL football player, so really didn't need it.
Thomas Benson.
Thomas Benson. Yes,
who
sir.
did he play for?
He was drafted in the 2nd round by the Atlanta Falcons. He played he was at New England for a season. He spent a few years in San Diego, and then he retired from the LA Raiders.
LA Raiders.
Yes, sir.
You said you guys were so poor.
Yes.
Everybody, all of your siblings have college degrees.
Absolutely.
Tell me about that. How did that come about?
Yeah, well, my grandmother was one of the first teachers in Oklahoma. And we knew, and she taught us, and my mother taught us, that education is the way out of poverty. Simple as that. It's just simple as that. Bad grades were never accepted. They were never accepted in my house. And they weren't accepted in my household, my own house. My oldest son is dyslexic. We didn't let him use that as a crutch. He graduated from Southeastern with honors. Mm-hmm. My baby boy, we pushed him, Max, we pushed him extremely hard because he was super intelligent, but we had to push him. And then once we pushed him, a funny story about that is he would get bored at school. So he would cut up. And he would get a red light for being bad, a yellow light for doing okay, a green light for doing great. So I said, all right, bud, I'm never going to get tired of whipping you, but we're going to make a deal. I said, I'll give you $1. I'll give you $1 every day that you do good in school. And then I told him, I'll give you $0.25 if you do okay with a yellow light. If you get a red light, I'm going to beat your tail. Mm-hmm. So he said, no, Dad, you ought to give me 50 cents for a yellow light. I said, no, it doesn't work like that. So every day I check with him. Hey, he had a green light. I take him directly to the dollar store. He'd buy what he wanted. But he learned that the better you do in school, the more money you make. Yes. He learned that in 2nd or 3rd grade. And that translated into, he was a Blue Ribbon Scholar, Junior National Honor Society, National Honor Society, Johnson O'Malley Award winner, went to school at Langston on academic scholarships, graduated summa cum laude. He interviewed with the State Parks Department the week of finals, received a job. Now he's training right now to be a state park manager. That's
awesome. That is awesome.
Absolutely.
And you know, the great thing about it is, I want everyone to know, is that both his boys, they also participated in USA Track and Field.
Yes, sir.
I had the opportunity of coaching his oldest, AT.
Yeah. Yep.
Which is Allen Benson. Is he
Allen
the third?
He's the
junior?
second.
Okay,
he's the second, not junior. He's the second.
I look at the same.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
He's currently right now a coach down there at Marietta.
In Marietta. He's the assistant cross-country coach for the junior high and the high school. And this is his first year coaching cross-country track, and his junior high girls won a state championship about 2 weeks ago.
And not just that, both your boys, they also played football at Ardmore High School.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And to include his son, A.T., played football at Southeastern Oklahoma State University.
Yeah.
And his youngest, Max, played at Langston University.
It's just been incredible watching my sons grow up. and I'd rather see them play football than play football myself. And that's a great feeling to watch them play.
And let's get back to you. And I understand that because as a parent, definitely.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. But let's back up here. So you went to Northeastern A&M College.
Yes, sir.
In Miami, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
Then, of course, after that, you went to Oklahoma State University.
Transferred to Oklahoma State. Yes, sir.
Now, were you on scholarship?
I was not.
But you were playing football.
I was an invited walk-on.
Explain that to me.
They see that you have talent, but they don't believe. They believe that you have possibilities, but not enough to invest in you. When I graduated high school, I weighed 175 pounds.
Wow.
When I got to NEO,
because looking at you now, what are you about
I'm about 285 now. But I was when I got to NEO, the food was not very good. I was broke, so I worked
dirt poor.
Dirt poor. I worked really hard to get up to 200 pounds. Transferred to Oklahoma State, where the food was tremendously better. I went from 200 pounds to 275 in one semester.
Wow.
Lifting weights. No steroids, no nothing. Muscle. Okay.
Who was the head coach at that time?
Jimmy Johnson.
Oh, Jimmy Johnson?
The Jimmy Johnson was the head coach.
That coached at Miami?
Coached at Miami. He left.
And
he really got his start coaching with us.
Uh-huh.
And we went to a bowl. He turned that into a job at Miami. He goes to Miami, wins a national championship. That turns into a job with the Dallas Cowboys, where he ended up winning a Super Bowl.
Yeah, 2 Super Bowls.
2 Super Bowls. Yes, sir. 2 Super Bowls.
And he was your head coach?
He was my head coach.
Well, why did he put you on scholarship?
Believe it or not, he didn't put me on scholarship because I was so poor. Again.
Oh, you have to explain
Poverty.
that to us.
Okay. Guy that played in front of me. Well, actually, he wasn't in front of me. I was playing a different position. I was the number 2 middle linebacker. This young man hurt his shoulder. They moved me into his spot. So I had 1 week to prepare, to learn totally different techniques. I learned and worked so hard, I completely beat him out. He was averaging maybe 2 tackles a game. When I stepped in, I would have 8, 9, sometimes 10 tackles a game. When we played Nebraska, I had 12 tackles in the first half.
Wow.
I compressed the vertebrae in my back and didn't finish the game.
I was thinking you're the only one tackling.
Yeah, I was the only one tackling. But I had lots of opportunities. But I beat the young man out. And like I said, I was so poor that they gave this kid the scholarship anyway. And Jimmy Johnson told me that since I was so poor, I could get work study, grants, all this kind of stuff. And I'm like, but I earned that. But I love the game so much that I wasn't going to quit. Mm-hmm. I never played for him. I played for my teammates, and I played for Oklahoma State University, and I played for my family.
And you loved it.
And I loved every minute of it. If I could back up and change it, I wouldn't. I was recruited by Arkansas State. Larry Lacewell called me one night.
Now, was that from Ardmore High School?
No, this is from NEO. Mm-hmm. He called me. I'm excited. You know, it's the first time a coach has called me trying to recruit me. I'm excited. And he told me all the stuff I wanted to hear. And I said, well, Coach, okay, are you offering me a scholarship? He said, no. I said, look, Coach, he said, well, I knew you had, you told me that you had a sister down here. I said, I do, in Marianna, Arkansas. I said, I do. And he said, well, we want you to walk on. I said, Coach, I'm not going that far to walk on. He said, well, yeah, but we really need you. I said, well, give me a scholarship. He said, I can't. I said, Coach, if I was planning on walking on, I can walk on anywhere. And especially a lot closer than Arkansas State. I mean, they're Southeastern, Central State, UCO. I just didn't want to go that far. But it just was amazing. I was tickled to death that I had the opportunity, and I felt like I got the most out of my opportunities. I played well enough to get a tryout with the Dallas Cowboys. I went to Thousand Oaks. I met all of the really super winning Dallas Cowboy coaches. Tom Landry is just like you see him on television. Got a little backstory on him. He was a very young kid in the Air Force, and he crash landed a fully loaded bomber with no landing gear. And if that doesn't kill you or get you excited, nothing is going to get you excited. But it was a great experience. I look back at it and I think I should have worked harder. I should have done more. I should have been more focused. But I went about 3 years without watching an NFL game.
Wow.
Because I would watch a game, and I'm working. I worked when I graduated. I got a college degree. I stacked shingles at Georgia Pacific for 2 years after I graduated. And, you know, and it was just straight manual labor. I would watch a game and I'd see somebody that I destroyed playing in the NFL, and I am stacking shingles.
Yeah, that had to...
That worked on my mind so bad. And when I did make it, then it was my fault. I should have gone to Houston, but I didn't. I wanted to be a Dallas Cowboy, close to home, had stars in my eyes, didn't listen to my wife, Regina Benson, didn't listen to her. And but I also realized that if I had made the team, I would have been a completely different person.
Yes, you would.
I would have screwed up my relationship with her. I would have had kids, but they wouldn't be in the AT and Max.
Exactly.
I'd have had kids all over the place. And one of the amazing things about signing with the Dallas Cowboys, I signed 2 1-year contracts. I had my lawyer look at it. Old James Clark looked at it for me. And my first year contract was $30,000. And my next year, if I had made the team, I would have made $40,000.
Well, I thought the minimum was greater than that. Back in
not back then.
Okay.
I got another story to back that up.
What era? What year was this?
This was in 81. No, 82. I graduated in 82. The first day I walked into Michelin, I was making $32,000. Had no idea what I was going to be doing other than I was going to be in maintenance. I look back on that and I realized I still would have been poor. I would have been worse off making $30,000 trying to live in Dallas, Texas.
Yeah, you
know, I would have lived with my sisters and slept on the couch as a professional football player. I talked to a friend of mine. Trying to remember his name. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. Phil Tabor. Phil Tabor knew Emerson Walls. Emerson Walls was an all-pro cornerback for the Dallas Cowboys. He made $23,000 a year.
Really?
Yes, because Dallas would not renegotiate his contract. Young man, small black school. He wanted to play. He had no option but to sign the contract. And he figured, just like anybody else.
Emerson Walls, he's a well-known name.
Yes, sir. He's an all-pro for the Dallas Cowboys. He only made $23,000. And he is bitter, and he should be bitter, and he will always be bitter because they made millions of dollars
Yes.
off of him.
Matter of fact, Phil Tabor himself, he played professional football.
Phil Tabor played for the New York Giants. He and his brother.
And Phil as well was part of the USA Track and Field. He
Yes,
and
sir.
of course, I know Harold Brown and
Chris Pelton.
Chris Pelton.
Yep.
And they all formed that particular club, which
Yes,
has
sir.
been tremendous.
Which has been tremendous.
I think it's probably the best track and field organization in the country.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's move forward here a little bit.
Yes, sir.
Now, also, I noticed that you teach at Southern Oklahoma Technology Center.
Yes, sir. I do. I have taught there off and on for about 30 years, if not longer.
Now, of course, you currently still work with Michelin tires.
Yes, sir. I'm an instructor for Michelin Tire. Right now.
Now, I want to back up a little bit.
Sure.
Now, when you started out at Michelin Tire, what was that, $32,000 a year?
$32,000.
Now,
yeah.
I know what Michelin is one of the best paying jobs in,
Yes, sir.
in the country.
Yes, sir, it is.
So 32 back in 1982
Yes.
was a lot of money.
It was a lot of money.
But now when you look at today's time,
I do make good money.
I know you do.
I
but
make
you don't
good
have to
money,
say.
and I'm not. I can't. But I do make good money. But a lot of what I do is based on helping people learn, helping the company, and learning new things, not being afraid of things, and taking it upon myself to invest in myself. There was when I went to work at Uniroyal. Okay,
Before they became Michelin.
Before they became Michelin, when you came in the plant, you followed someone around for 2 weeks. At the end of that 2 weeks, you were expected to carry a full load. But you had to study on your own. You didn't have somebody holding your hand. You had to go out there, get dirty, learn on your own, and work hard. Now, it's better. And now, when we bring in new people, they train with me or a guy named Dirk Taylor. That's my partner. They train with us for about a year. I got 2 weeks, and they get a year. And the company spends tremendous amounts of money training them because I know what I make. I know what Dirk makes. And when these people come into the plant, when they come into our school, somebody has to cover for them. And that person is making time and a half. And then somebody else has to shift to cover that person that's working to cover that person. So it's a chain reaction. And we spend, I would guess we spend over $1 million training people every year.
Wow. I have to say that.
Michelin, BF Goodrich has been fantastic to me.
Yes.
I've raised my family. I've sent 2 kids to college. I live comfortably. My wife has a nice car. If we need something, I can go get it. And I paid off my house.
And by the way, I would have doubled my income.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. The money is awesome.
Yeah.
The money is awesome. And every job is not a filthy, dirty, hard-working job.
Right.
And the reason I say that is because when I started,
You guys have engineers and all that's there.
we have engineers, we have quality people. We used to have mechanics and electricians. Now you have to train for both. So it's a little different. 9 times out of 10, an electrician can learn to be a mechanic. But it's probably 50-50 on if a mechanic can learn how to be an electrician. Because when you're an electrician, it's not always 110 volts, 120 volts, 220, 480. You're talking about hundreds and thousands of a volt.
Wow.
It's not the days of the shade tree mechanic are gone.
Mm-hmm.
It's just gone. You can't. I've dealt with people that, I've watched my dad work on a car. Okay, that's not near good enough to work in maintenance at Michelin. It's not near good enough.
Because everything pretty much high tech now.
Everything is high tech. But I've also worked on equipment that was state of the art, and I've worked on equipment that's 60 years old. But you have to be willing to open your mind and perform. And it's go ahead.
Now tell me this, as far as, Southern Oklahoma Technology Center, what do you teach out there?
I teach basic electricity. I teach some programming languages. I teach motor controls. And I've offered to teach some of the mechanical classes, but since COVID hit, hadn't been able to do anything. Mm-hmm. But the difference in the VOTEC and what I do on my day job, I'll say, at the VOTEC, a person can walk in off the street with no background, and you have to teach them. So we also have companies that send me people to help improve their skills so that they can perform better on their jobs, making them more valuable, making the company more money. Because if a piece of equipment is broken and it's down, it's not making money. So as long as, if you know what you're doing, it also gives you the confidence of, I'm going to go in and fix it quickly. I strive for efficiency. You can fix it fast and you're going to miss something. It's going to break down. So I stress efficiency. Do it quickly, but do it correctly. And I tell, I have the privilege of talking to the young guys before the old guys ruin them. Say, we've been doing it this way for 40 years. That's a problem. That's really a problem. You have to be efficient. You have to do it correctly. If you don't have time to do it right, when are you going to have time to do it again? And I stress that when I work. It's a philosophy, and part of my job is to teach them the new philosophy of do it right the first time. Mm-hmm. Take a little extra time to do it 100% correct, not 85%, not 95%. Do it 100% correct so that it will last. And people don't realize that there are some machines out there that run 24/7 for 6 months at a time. And the only time that we get to work on it is 4th of July shutdown and Christmas shutdown, which is usually 1 week. Mm. Mm. So it's, when you work on something that runs 24/7, I'm going to go home and go to sleep. I'm going to rest. I'm off 16 hours.
Yeah.
I'm off on the weekend. Well, that machine continues to run.
Now, but let me ask you this. Now, you were on the Board of Regents.
Yes, sir.
Murray State College in
Yes, sir.
Tishomingo, Oklahoma.
Yes, sir.
How did that come about? And how long have you been involved?
Well, I've been involved. I'm at the end of my 3rd term. I'm going to seek a 4th term. We have 7-year terms. And it came about, honestly, I really didn't know what I was getting into. Greg Pyatt, friend of mine, was running for state representative.
Yeah, our former state representative.
He asked me to help him out with his campaign. And since I didn't have any money, all I could offer him was knowledge. So I gave him what I had, advised him on a couple of small things, nothing major. He said, I'm going to give you something. I said, no, you don't owe me anything. Because I felt like he was the best person for the job. Mm-hmm. He asked me for help. I'm going to help him.
He was my former banker.
Yes, sir. And that's another place where I met him. And he said, I'm going to make you a regent. I didn't know what a regent was. I had no idea what a regent was.
What is a regent?
A regent, what we do is we set policy for the school. We hire the president. We don't address issues with the custodian or the professors. We direct the president. The president answers to us. We help set policy. And the reason that we keep it like that is because everybody's got a buddy that's got a buddy. give my buddy a job. Your buddy didn't earn that job. Mm-hmm. So I'm not going to butt in and say, give it to Allen Benson's son. He didn't earn it. He's not qualified. So we try to stay out of that. But one of the other great things that came about was that the president right now is Joy McDaniels, formerly Joy Short of Bill and Barb's Restaurant, who was in business many years. She and I have known each other since 5th or 6th grade. We have no secrets. I know what she's thinking. She knows what I'm thinking. She does things the right way. We don't cut corners, and we do everything we can do to support our kids. Murray State is in great shape. I went to a Regent meeting last night. We are outperforming just about every college in America. I didn't say in Oklahoma. I said in America.
That's awesome.
We're building new buildings. Our enrollment is up. It's up about 4%, which is highly unusual for this day and time. Everybody else around us, the enrollment is down. And our tuition is some of the lowest in the country. The quality of our instructors and professors is outstanding. We try to take care of all of our people. And I can see the difference. And I know a lot of it is because of Joy McDaniels.
You know, you are involved. You are a pillar of the community. You have done some tremendous things.
Yes, sir.
When you look at it, your story, you come from extreme poverty, from nothing.
Yes, sir.
But all you had was a dream and the will to no quit.
That's right.
And then you set your mind on something. Even though no one gave you a scholarship, you still walked on and you made something of the best of it. Then you leave there, go to Oklahoma State and do the same thing. Then Jimmy Johnson tells you why he's going to give somebody else a scholarship compared to you when you earned it.
Absolutely.
Because you were dirt poor and you could qualify for all these financial aids and everything else.
Yep.
Wow. Then you go on, you get your degree.
Absolutely.
And of course, you marry a tremendous woman by the name of Regina, who I know personally, who retired from the Department of Human Services Child Welfare as a supervisor.
Yep.
Then go on, because I work with her, quite often.
Yep.
And then now she's still working in the school system.
She's the she's the school-based social worker at the high school.
And then there your boys go.
Absolutely.
Good kids.
Absolutely.
Young men now.
Young men, absolutely.
I've always had, great, tremendous respect for all you guys, and your kids are just off the charts, nice, good kids. And they too have a vision, which is comes from parenting.
Absolutely.
Now, we've got folks that's going to be around America here that's going to hear this. You've got kids that feel that there is no hope, who comes from, poverty.
Don't let that stop you.
Come on, tell America.
Don't let that stop you.
And let people know what the requirements are. Look dead at that camera and tell them what they need to do.
You need to work. If you have a dream, you can't sit back and whine and complain. Okay? You need to ask yourself, what can I do to make myself better? As a 175-pound senior, I told people I wanted to play football. And of course, growing up in this part of the country, you want to go to OU. OU said, you can't play for us. You're too small. I said, all right. So I went from 175 pounds to 200 pounds to 275 pounds. I changed positions. Had to work harder because I had to move more as an outside linebacker. I dropped 25 pounds in a week. So that brought me down to 250. I worked so hard that I ended up playing at 235, 225, but had zero fat. I ran a 4.5 40. I bench pressed 400 pounds. And the most important thing was I went to class every day, no matter what. I was on the Dean's Honor Roll every semester after I got to OSU. My football didn't improve and take off until after I got my grades under control. Don't let somebody tell you what you can and can't do. As long as you're not breaking the law, take care of your business. Take care of yourself. Go to class, no matter what. Go to class. Outwork people. I deal with people today that say, well, I'm not as smart as Joe or Bobby or whoever. Okay, but you can still learn. If you don't learn as quickly or as easily, study harder, study longer. That's what I had to do. When I was going to Old State playing ball, I had my classes in the morning. So I was done with class by 12:30. 1 o'clock, I'd go look at film on my own. 2:30, I watch film with the team. Sometimes I watch film at night. But I did things on my own. When you do what everybody else is doing, then you're only going to be as good as everybody else. And that's not good enough.
Yes.
That's unacceptable. If you want to excel, you have to put in the work. You have to put in the time.
Yes.
I think about Michael Jordan, and he got cut from the basketball team in the 10th grade. And he didn't say, well, I guess I'm not supposed to be a basketball player. He went back to the gym. He went home. He put in the work. You're not going to get anywhere not outworking people. Everything is a competition. You compete for jobs, just like you compete for a spot on the football team, just like you compete for a spot on the basketball team, on the track team. You have to treat everything like a competition. I'm going to outwork you. I'm going to outperform you. I'm going to make it clear that I am the best choice.
Wow. Thank you for that. Because hard work and dedication, no matter who you are,
That's right.
You can overcome. You can achieve.
Yes, sir.
You might get shot down numerous times.
Yes.
Look at you.
Hey, I got shot down many times. But you can't stay down. Everybody's going to get knocked down sometime in their lives. But you can't stay down. You can't stay down. I coach Pee Wee football. And one of the things I tell those kids is you better get up. There's only bad things can happen to you if you stay on the ground.
Yes.
You can't stay down. Get up. I remember a play, I believe it was against Colorado. These two guys, they double teamed me. And the way that I got away from them was I went down. But I was up so fast that I still got there fast enough to make the tackle. After two people had me down on top of me, I got up, ran the running back down.
And you could have just stayed there.
And I could have just stayed right there and wallowed in my sorrows and complained that, oh, ref, they did this. No. You fight for it. If you want it, fight for it.
Yes.
No difference in a good job, writing a paper, taking a test, chasing a girlfriend, a wife, buying a house, buying a home. You can't just give up. You can never give up. If I'd had any sense, I never would have played. But I love the game. I love to compete. I love being part of a team, even if it's just two of us. Right now, there's just two of us. Up until a few weeks ago, I was a mechanical instructor. I was electrical for 34 years. So I had to learn to be a mechanic. I don't want to say a mechanic, a mechanical instructor. And it's different going out, fixing something versus teaching somebody how to fix it.
Yes.
It's a tremendous difference.
Talking about the American dream.
Yes, sir.
You are the American
Hey.
dream. So if anyone wants to know, can I get ahead in life? All they need to do is look to you.
Hey, look to me. I'll be glad to sit down with you and preach your sermon. I'll be glad to, because I even amaze myself. I look at where I came from and I look at where I am now. And I remember my wife and I, we were walking past a pretty expensive steakhouse. And she said, I'd like to go in there sometime. And I said, let's go. Well, it costs so much. I said, I don't care. I said, did I ask you? I said, if you want to go, we can go. And it took me a couple of tries to let her know, if that's what you want to do, let's go do it. You can't, this may sound selfish, but I don't work so that I can scrape by.
Yes.
I don't work so that I can scrape by. I want to enjoy the things that I want to enjoy. I want to take my wife out to places that she wants to go. I don't want to have to worry about, is my car going to start? Am I going to pay the bill? Can I pay the bills this month? But the way around all of that is getting a great education. When I was on the track club, when I was coaching, I coached the little kids, the youngest age groups. And I gave them, this is back when spinners were real popular, and I gave them some spinners that looked like they were gold and they were in a dollar sign. And I told them, this is a reminder that the harder you work and the more you study, the more money you can make. And those kids remembered that.
Yes.
And you can't wait until they're 18, about to graduate, before you start preparing for your future. You have to have a plan. A bad plan is better than no plan. I bumped my head a lot because I didn't figure out the best way to do it. One of the things I teach now is, you have to, before you can work on this machine, write a plan on where you're going to start and how you're going to do it.
Yes.
Write a plan. Well, yeah, but if I could see it, no. You see enough. Believe in yourself. Trust your own judgment. And listen to people that you trust.
There's an old saying, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail.
You plan to fail.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just like what I do right now. I have my calendar out, and when I'm doing this, I'm going to do that and make my phone calls and, do my paperwork. You have to create that task, because I'm retired now.
Right.
So this is my second gig, but I'm
Absolutely.
enjoying it.
Absolutely.
Because I'm meeting people like, well, I knew you.
Yeah.
I'm meeting
I understand.
people like you.
But you have to have a plan before you can retire. You don't want to retire from being the guy that cooks the fries at McDonald's. You don't want to retire from that job. I work at Walmart part-time. And I know people say, well, all right, yeah, you work all the time. You must be hurting. No, I'm not hurting. But it gives me a chance to be around people, gives me a chance to be around young people, gives me a chance to be around some of these kids. And every kid that's around me, I ask them, okay, what's your plan? Are you going to school? Why are you not going to school? And if you go to Murray State, when you graduate, I will be on that stage. Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you.
I saw you on that stage.
Yes, sir. And I enjoy it. That's one of the happiest days of my life, is being on that stage, because a couple of years ago, this young lady at Ardmore, she graduated from Murray State before she graduated from high school. That was incredible to me.
How did that happen?
Okay. She took concurrent classes. And she was a pretty smart young lady. She took concurrent classes. And then she actually graduated in May. But the graduation at Murray State was before the graduation at Ardmore High. And
so she took college courses while she was in high school.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And one of the many reasons I love Murray State is that they told me about her. They were excited about her. We took pictures with her. We had to walk back across the street to the auditorium. My wife and I took pictures with her. We made it the great goal that she set for herself. We let her know that we appreciated it. Even after she was done with me, I came back and photobombed her pictures. Because how many times do you get a chance to take family pictures with the Regent?
Yes.
You know, and it meant more to me than it did to her. I mean, she's going to, at that time, now when she gets older and she shows her kids and grandkids, it's going to mean a lot to her. But it meant an awful lot to me to be able to be in that position. You know, and one of my big promises that I made to God was that I was going to try to help people, help somebody. You know, and I taught my kids, okay, you do your best and you bring somebody with you. You help somebody. Mm-hmm. We've been blessed. We've been blessed to be able to live comfortable, take care of our kids, get our kids the things that they need. So we have expected them to do the same thing. Help somebody. Bring somebody with you. Do a great job, but bring somebody with you.
Boy, you're talking about good, strong parenting.
Yes, sir.
You know, it does make a difference in a child's life.
Yep.
You know, and not just that. You guys exposed your children to things that you wasn't exposed to as a child early
That's
on.
right.
Because you didn't have the means to do so.
We didn't have means to do so. One of my favorite stories is about A.T. When he was at Southeastern, he sang and danced with the Corvettes. And a lot of people laughed at him. And
Corvettes?
The Corvettes are the premium show choir at Southeastern. Southeastern is nationally known for having a show choir. And they would sing songs and they would do dance routines. Okay. A.T., one game, he sang the national anthem and played in the game. Okay, that was incredible. Football game. And that was incredible to me. Then he did so well that he was the most outstanding dancer and the most outstanding voice. And they were so good that they were invited to go sing and dance at Disneyland. So he got to spend 2 weeks with the most beautiful girls or women, young ladies on campus.
That was a treat.
At Disneyland. And was paid, I don't know if they were paid to perform, but they went and performed. You know, that's amazing to me.
Yes.
For the guy that was getting laughed at because of this and that.
Yes.
And, oh, you gonna do this silly stuff.
It's amazing how people can talk you out of things.
It's amazing how people can talk you out of. Usually it's your friends,
mm-hmm.
and it's amazing how friends can talk you into doing things.
The wrong
and they're
thing.
supposed to be your friends.
Yes.
I always think about Len Bias. Len Bias signed with the Boston Celtics, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Was drafted, went out celebrating with his friends. They talked him into doing some things, which maybe he had done it before. I don't know. End up dead.
Yes.
A dead rich billionaire.
Before he could really get started.
Before he ever got started.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. And, you know, my friends and I, when we grew up, we watched out for each other. Man, you know you don't need to be doing that. You know, what would your mom say? What would Miss Francis do to you?
What would she do?
She beat my tail. And which I'm glad I brought it up because she passed away about 2 weeks ago. She was 103 years old.
Wow.
103. And people say, well, man, are you sad? It's like, well, of course I miss my mom. But, you know, in 103 years, if you hadn't told her how you feel about her, if you hadn't done something for her, don't waste your time now. You had 103 years to do it. You had 103 years to do it. She touched a lot of people. And it's amazing when I think about her. I remember we were driving to the colony to my sister's house, and we go through Valley View, Texas. She said, "Hey, boy." She said, "The first time I came to Valley View, Texas was in a covered wagon going to pick cotton."
Wow.
And we're driving down the highway in a minivan.
In Texas.
Yeah. Driving down the highway in a minivan, 75 miles an hour or 70 miles an hour. She's drinking Diet Dr. Pepper, watching television under the air conditioning.
Yes.
That's amazing.
That is.
That's amazing.
She saw a lot in 103 years.
She saw a lot.
Through a lot.
She saw a lot of the bad things. She never, ever taught us to be prejudiced. Never. I remember growing up, and there would be, I'm just going to say it like this, there were Caucasian people that would come by our house, and she treated them like family. And when I saw them, they'd say, "Boy, your mama raised me." We lived across the street, and she fed us. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, "Hey, how you get blood out of a turnip?" Because we didn't have much groceries, and she's feeding the other families.
Yeah.
But that's the way she was, and that's the way she taught us to be. And we judge people by their character, not by the color of their skin.
Yes.
And we live by that. And we live by that. I don't dislike you until you give me a reason to dislike you. So we need to be more like that. The world needs to be more like that. You can't judge a book by its cover.
Yes, no doubt about it. I agree with you. And like you said, the world. And we need to start right here in our own backyard.
Absolutely.
And then
let it multiply, let it grow.
Yes. Just imagine what the world would be like if we all had that.
If we all had that, if we lived by that rule.
Yes.
It's a terrible time, but it's going to get better. I always remember, yes, I wish this was better, but it absolutely could be worse. And I try to remember that God is in control.
Yes. Well, I want everyone to know that we are social distancing. I did get my tape measure out.
I have no doubt. I have no doubt.
And so that's why we're so far apart.
Yes.
But Allen Benson, I appreciate
I guess it's like this right now. But can I say one more thing? Can I say one more thing?
Definitely.
Look, everybody needs to get out and vote. Get out and vote. I'm not telling you who to vote for. Get out and vote. You really can't complain if you don't think it's important enough to take out a few minutes of your day and go vote. You have nothing to complain about, and you get what you get.
Can I say amen?
Yes, sir.
Amen.
Yes, sir.